cooking enthusiast has one book that is a prized possession, and it's often a recipe book that has been handed down from generations to generations. Out here, my mom's recipe book is that one book that I hold extremely dear to my heart, and although in tatters, it brings back the fondest memories. Out here, we have a milk cream recipe cake that was actually about 50 years old.
Much more.
So much more than that. This recipe was handed down by a family friend to my aunt out here, who in turn passed it on to my mother. We have the fondest memories growing up as a child and binging on this great cake. Our mother somehow knew how to improvise and make use of every ingredient that was available. Since I'm still on a little bit of nostalgia with family just moving back from the holidays, let's get to creating it. Now, while this recipe was always made by hand, I'm going a little modern, getting that old world charm into it. So if you're thinking about the milk cream, it's basically when you boil milk every morning, you reserve the cream and store it in your fridge till it forms about 2 cups of this gorgeous creation that you just want to enjoy. So I'm going to put that into my stand mixer out here. With that, the principles are very simple. You use cups and measures. So 2 cups of cream, into that goes 2 cups of sugar, and just get to blitzing it. As you allow the sugar and the cream to emulsify, and you really do not need the sugar to melt because you have to store this for anywhere between 4 to 6 hours before baking it. Just allow it to emulsify a little before you get to adding all the other ingredients. As you allow the cream and the sugar to emulsify, in goes 2 caps of vanilla essence, because you want the sharp flavor that vanilla brings to this entire creation. 2 caps in, and start adding the yolks. So what I've done is I've taken 4 eggs and separated the yolks and the whites, and start adding each yolk at a time so that it emulsifies really well. Is it fine?
How is it going?
Seems okay. Is it okay?
Yes. Put the water.
I put it on.
Yeah.
As the yolks emulsify with the cream and the sugar, it's time to now sift in the flour. So out here I've got 2 cups of refined flour. To that I'm adding about a half a cup of semolina and a teaspoon, rather a heaped teaspoon of baking powder. So put that in and just mix it with your ladle. Now, although we are using a stand blender out here, a little muscle power really works well. So out here I've got 4 egg whites, and I'm just going to whisk it, and hopefully I get the 2 ladies behind to help in the whisking. I doubt it though, but they're still going to try. Ladies, would you like to whisk some egg whites? With the egg whites nicely whisked, and you do not need to whisk it too much, you just want the froth to slightly elevate the cake and lighten it up. So whisk this away, and now comes the fun part of alternating the layers with the flour and the egg whites. As the sugar, the cream, the egg yolks and the vanilla essence has emulsified really well with each other, in goes about 100 grams of finely chopped dates, just to add that little blend of something into this so that it gives it that robust flavor. So just mix it up and allow the dates to separate and actually just blend well with this entire creation. As the dates have emulsified really well into the entire cream mixture, and you can see little specks of that gorgeous black that's required into this. Now comes the part of alternating between the flour, the semolina and the egg whites. So divide this into 2 batches. Put 1 batch in. Mix it up and fold in some slightly whisked egg whites. Folding a little bit of the froth on top, just so that it gives it that slight aeration that's required. If you find the cake batter to be a little too wet, do not be alarmed, because as you allow this to sit on the side for at least 4 to 6 hours, the semolina blooms and gets your batter to the right consistency. In goes the final mix of the flour and the semolina. Just fold it back in. Lastly, in goes the final mix of lightly whisked egg whites. Just to fold it in. With everything well emulsified. Now technically this cake does require some nutmeg, but I've been told I use nutmeg way too much in way too many cakes. So I'm going to skip that out here. But otherwise, add a dash of nutmeg and you have an age-old recipe given out perfectly well. Allow this now to sit for a good 4 to 6 hours, and all you need to do is bake it into a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 45 minutes. Six hours of allowing the semolina to bloom well. All you need to do is line the mold with some oil, dust it with some flour, and put the cake batter right in.
This is fine.
With the lady finally approving it and the cake is ready, it goes bang into a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 45 minutes. The cake is ready to be enjoyed. 45 minutes of allowing this to bake, and I've just allowed it to get that slightly golden brown color on top. This gorgeous cake is ready. All you need to do is cool it down and enjoy it. Now while the cake has got that perfect golden brown color, and the dates work their magic in that, giving it that color, right? I hope you enjoyed creating this gorgeous cake with me. The nostalgia, old world charm standing right by the side of me, getting into the cake. Don't forget to share loads of love by hitting on the like button. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.